I've been wanting to make this video about getting on to a carnivore or animal-based diet, at least more natural diet, for some time. So I'm going to give you some tips for all the steps. Cutting out the processed stuff, eating an animal-based diet, eating a carnivore diet. I'm currently animal-based. At least the definition I usually see is animal products and fruit. That's what I eat. I eat a little bit of peanut butter too for some extra calories in my shakes. But other than that, it's no vegetables, no grains, no processed sugars, no processed oils, chemicals, and I feel great. I'm sure you can imagine if you're eating junk food, how good I feel just eating natural food that our ancestors would have eaten. The food that we've evolved to be able to digest properly and take nutrients out of for millions of years. So I'm going to teach you how to eat a diet closer to this. At least you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go all the way to carnivore, although many people see great benefits from that. Even if I can just get you to cut out processed sugars, you're going to see a huge difference. So, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Matt Bell. I like to live a physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy lifestyle. And my goal with these videos is to help you all do the same and to make progress towards your goals. So if you have a goal for this year or any problem you're struggling with, leave me a comment and I'll make you a video to solve your problem. Now, I started some time ago improving my diet. I started trying to eat more calories to bulk up. That's currently what I'm doing, as you can see. But I still wasn't eating a terribly clean diet. I was eating more of the mainstream healthy stuff, which if you look around the US, the average person's got like 10 chronic diseases or something crazy like that. So many people are medicated for diseases, both physically and mentally. So think about this. Do you want to live like the average person? Do you want to live eating what the average person in America thinks is healthy? No. So we can look into other cultures, back into history at what they've eaten and the outcomes they've had. So anyway, I was eating yogurt and fruit in the morning with often some whole wheat bread, which that's one of the first things I'd cut out. Whole wheat is a great step. If you can't cut bread out, can't cut the tortilla wraps, maybe you like burritos. For some time, I was meal prepping burritos. I was getting a lot of protein, but I would have been better off if I cut the grains out. So first, cut out white bread. That's the worst for you. These highly processed carbs are going to do the most damage. Whole grain is closer to something that humans are actually meant to eat. But we really haven't been eating these grains for that long. We were hunter and gatherers, and then just recently, if you look at the history of our species, just for this small time, that's when we've developed agriculture, and that's when you start to see the advent of all these new human diseases, these diseases that only humans get, like chronic obesity, heart disease. I know cancer is natural, but we have highly elevated cases of cancer. We shouldn't be getting cancer this much. And you're starting to see animals get these, cats and dogs. So cats, dogs, and humans all get these diseases that other animals very, very rarely get in the wild. Again, the other time that these animals get them is in captivity, in zoos and such. So if you think about why that is, it's got to be because we're eating something that we're not supposed to be. We're not eating our natural diet. Cats and dogs should be eating meat. You can see this in the way that their skulls even develop. They develop in a very deformed way because they're not eating meat. Now, this is partially because you're not chewing as hard. Same with humans. If you look back into history, into ancient humans, they've got a much bigger jaw and more robust skull because they're constantly chewing tough meat and eating all this soft bread and pudding and whatever else, all this stuff that you don't really even need to chew. It's not a workout for your jaw muscles and your skull. Your head doesn't need to grow, so it doesn't. And that leads to a lot of other issues like problems breathing, crowding with teeth. That's why we need braces now. Anyway, I'll try not to get too sidetracked with all this. I've got way too much to talk about on this topic. Anyway, the introduction of grains to our diet as a large part of it. We likely always did eat grains to a small degree, but now that they're making up such a large part of it, in the food pyramid, the biggest one is the grains. Why is that? If you do any research into it, that's the one area that you can cut out and be completely fine. Carbs are the one macronutrient that you do not need whatsoever to live or to be healthy. And for some reason, that's the largest category on the food pyramid. That's supposed to be, I think, half your plate on the Canadian food, whatever. Half your plate, grains. Don't listen to them. Looking at a lot of health professionals, they don't look healthy, do they? I've been in contact with quite a few health professionals. I've never met one that I think, dang, I wanna be like you. I want the health that you have. No. I always think, I don't wanna have the results that you have. I guarantee that I feel better in my day-to-day life, so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's only when I see a health professional that is healthier and more able than me when I would take their advice seriously. So, the average person that's telling you that you need to eat grains, do not listen to them. Just try not eating grains for some time. You'll see the benefits, and then you'll start convincing these other people that they don't need to eat grains. So cut out grains, added sugar, processed sugar. It is technically just sugar in fruit. It is a simple carbohydrate. You get lots of nutrients from fruit as well, but you do need to limit fruit consumption. Added sugar, cut it out completely. You don't need any of this processed white sugar or cane sugar or sucralose, high fructose corn syrup. This stuff isn't real food. It's just crap that they put in food to make you buy it, to make you addicted to it. And we all know that we're better off with less sugar. So, do the right thing. Add it to your checklist on your diet. No added sugar. No grains, no added sugar. This is the first step. This is going to give you the majority of the benefits. You're going to be feeling way, way better now. And the next step is getting more towards an animal-based diet, where you would cut out vegetables and nuts and other plants. You may be thinking that that's crazy. Just wait a sec. I know your whole life people have been telling you that vegetables are healthy, someone's unhealthy because they didn't eat their greens or whatever. But just think about it. What do you need vegetables for? You could probably think of some nutrients. You get that on animal-based diet, if you're doing it right. There are some plants that have more medicinal qualities. You don't really need the micronutrients that they have, but they have some additional benefit. Like garlic, like ginger. I eat those in small quantities, and the benefit is worth it. But you don't want to be eating these large quantities of these plants that you can't digest fully, or at least that are really hard to digest. Your digestive system digests animal originated foods very easily. So meats, dairy, to some extent. Dairy is not great for you. That's the next thing you're going to be cutting out. And eggs. Your digestive system is great digesting those. But a lot of plants, you see that they have a high nutrient contents. You're not even getting that out of them because you can't fully digest or absorb those nutrients. Because those are phytonutrients or whatever, and those are just harder to break down in your body. But saturated fats and animal proteins, your body loves those. It's easy to digest. You'll notice that you feel great after eating just those. So cut these plants out as much as you can. Again, there aren't nutrients in them that you need. You're getting those from the animal foods. And I'll get more into how you can ensure that you're getting the nutrients you need. So now you're just eating animal foods and fruit. So meat, dairy, eggs, fruit, and you should be adding in organs. One of the best ones is liver. Don't eat too much of it. You can just, it usually comes in like thin slices from the butcher, like about that thick. Just cut that up into little squares. People even freeze them because I know a lot of people don't like the taste. Just get it raw, cut them up, freeze them, then every day eat 1 or 2 of these squares, and you're going to be getting a ton of nutrients. You're not going to be deficient in any of the nutrients that you're getting from liver because it's just so dense in nutrients. That's why you have to be careful with it not to eat too much, because you can get vitamin A toxicity or whatever it is, where you've gotten too much of this nutrients, your body can't process it fast enough, and you become sick. My next favorite one is bone marrow. If you've never had bone marrow, it's kind of gross to think about. It was for me at least. I wasn't a huge fan of these organs at first. But go to your butcher, you can get them pretty cheap. Make sure you ask for them cut canoe style. So you've got 2 halves of the bone split down the middle like that, instead of cut into little pucks. It's going to be a lot easier to cook and eat. You're going to get it cooked all the way through, and it's going to taste delicious. It's similar to a butter. It has been called butter of the gods because it really is delicious. You're going to be getting more nutrients, collagen, I believe, which is huge for recovery and joint health. And if you're eating both of those organs, you can eat more hearts, whatever else. Testicle even is quite beneficial, unfortunately. But you don't need to get into all the organs. Just eating these organs, meat, eggs, and dairy, fruit, you're going to feel really good. But there is another level that you can take it to where you will feel even more benefits. And when you get to here, you're going to be keto. You're going to be in ketosis, where you're not processing carbs externally. You're essentially creating your own carbs. You're in ketogenesis. Or you're in ketosis. The process is ketogenesis, I believe, where you're using proteins and fats to produce your energy. And you have a much more stable level of energy, not having these high spikes of energy from the carbs. Because you may notice that after a lot of carbs, you have the crash and you feel like crap, you're bloated, you feel tired. That's one of the biggest things that I notice, is I feel tired, sluggish, I get brain fog, I can't think clearly after having a lot of carbs. So you're going to be a lot more level in your energy. That's what everyone says when they get onto carnivore, which is eating just meat and eggs. So this is the hardest step, to be honest. I do this for short periods of time sometimes. To be honest, it's not for everyone. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I find that working on my feet for 9 hours a day, then going to the gym and running and training Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, I need some carbs. I need energy before my workouts because the energy that I'm producing just doesn't quite cut it. So it's not for everyone, but there are definitely benefits. Especially if you're trying to lose weight. Cutting out carbs completely, going into ketosis, is going to make you lose fat quite quickly. You'll notice very fast you'll lose a lot of this watery weight in your fat, and you'll start burning your fat more for energy, because that's what fat is. It's supposed to store energy for you. And maybe you're in the situation where you've stored so much energy that it's unreasonable, and it's starting to have a negative effect on your life. So people see the greatest benefits here when they cut out plants completely. Not even any coffee, not having any dairy, no cream, just meat, putting salt on your meat probably. It's an important point that you need to take seriously if you are getting away from the junk food and getting towards a more animal-based diet. Put a ton of salt on everything you eat, because you were getting a lot of salt from chips and every really fast food, and even restaurant food has a lot of salt in it because it tastes good. But I noticed that I was not getting salt after I cut this stuff out. So put a ton of salt on all your meat. I drink a lot of water with salt in it. And it's important to get your electrolytes. So I'll have a video coming out in a bit about making your own electrolyte mix, because it's so important to get your electrolytes, especially on this diet. You will feel like crap if you're not getting your electrolytes. So you need to be getting your sodium, magnesium, potassium, and calcium. Those are very important, and they go a long way in making you feel better and being able to perform. If you're deficient in electrolytes, then your body's not performing and your brain capacity is greatly lowered. I remember one time I was splitting wood and I did not have enough electrolytes at all. I was very dehydrated. I was sweating a ton, not getting enough water, and especially not getting electrolytes. And my hand cramped up and my two fingers like this got stuck like this. You'll start to get cramps really bad if you're dehydrated. And my fingers were just stuck like this until I got electrolytes. So there are negative effects if you don't balance this diet optimally. You don't really need to worry about nutrients too much if you're eating lots of red meat. You're eating some organs occasionally, and eggs are great for nutrition. I would always include them in your daily diet. And you're getting electrolytes on top of that, you're set. You're good. You're going to feel great. And don't take it from me. I'm not the guy to convince you that all of this is healthy. There are many scientists doing all that good work. I recommend Dr. Anthony Chaffee. He is probably the biggest proponent in science of this diet. You can check him out. There are many other guys on a more animal-based diet where they're still eating fruit and dairy. Again, that's what I'm on right now. I feel good doing that for now. If you're trying to bulk up quickly like I am, then that's probably the way for you. But if you really want the optimal benefits to reach your maximum potential and to cut weight the fastest, to have the highest brain function, then carnivore is the way for you to go. And again, over here, at the beginning of this spectrum, where I started, if you just start cutting out the highly processed grains, and eventually all grains and all added sugars, all processed oils. So you look at ingredients on something, and this, if you start to do this, this is gonna really suck for you. You're gonna look at the ingredients on everything in a package. One of the top ingredients you're gonna see: sunflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. There's always some kinds of processed oils in them. Just trust me for now, just cut it out. You're gonna feel better. And one more thing to add into the diet is fish oil. You should be getting fish oil. I do not like eating fish. I'd rather just take the oil most days. Raw fish is great if you can stomach that. This is going to give you omega-6. The biggest thing to remember with these omegas is you're getting a ton of omega-3s from all these processed oils. Even if you don't cut them out completely, you're going to see benefits. And you're also getting omega-3s from other areas, but people have high omega-3 because they're eating so many seed oils and whatnot. The biggest thing is not just to drop your omega-3s to 0. You want it to be balanced. I believe you want them to be around equal. I think a bit more of omega-6. So Get your fish oil in the morning and in the afternoon. Eat avocado if you want, fish, all sorts of seafood really, seaweed, and that's going to be another point where you can greatly improve your health. And you can take these tips even if you don't want to follow the diet all the way to carnivore or animal based. You don't even want to cut out grains and sugar. There are still some good tips here. Add omega-3s, make sure you're getting your electrolytes. And I hope you took at least one thing out of this video that's actionable for you. If you want one-on-one help with your diet or anything else that I talk about on my channel, I'm here to give you accountability, to give you guidance. So click the top link in my bio and we can get into contact. Thanks for watching.